is making your mark on the program?
Well, I think from first and foremost, they're all great kids. I think the administration has done a phenomenal job of, kind of equipping our program with what we need from that standpoint. And, we've kind of taken it 1 week at a time. Obviously it's an adjustment for everybody, new team, new faces, and kind of taking it one day at a time in the sense of kind of getting used to everybody and, what makes some people tick, what makes, me tick, and, trying to figure out, how to best kind of put that all together.
What is the makeup of this team so far, or what are the strengths you can tap into?
Well, I think, our depth. I think, we've got a good, vast difference of experience and youth as well. I think we have some dynamic playmakers, and we have some people that, can finish plays. So I think we're kind of a hodgepodge, if you will. And obviously as we kind of get together a little bit more and play a little bit more, I'll probably have a better, more accurate answer for you.
It's clear that recruitment was a really important piece to this puzzle for you. What were those things you were looking for when you were putting together this group?
Well, I think first and foremost the character piece. I think you've got to, your work ethic, how you carry yourself on and off the floor. That goes above any talent. And then, really believe in, roster composition, working on trying to fit the talent, making sure the talent fits with other talent. So all of our players, when they look to the left and the right, they're not seeing a younger or older version of themselves.
What pulled you here to GCU? Was it just a chaotic, awesome basketball environment, or what was the really drew you?
Well, I think prior to me first talking to him, I think I had already been here when I was with the Wizards in the NBA, working out here, and was just blown away with the proximity, the location, the facilities, how nice the people were. And then obviously getting a chance to meet with Brian and Jamie, first class, which, again, it was one of those things where what it looks like when you see it, because I've been blessed to be around some great coaches, great administrations, and this was kind of a no-brainer.
The success the team had last year and moving to the Mountain West, is there any extra added pressure to kind of keep that momentum going, or just kind of a fresh start for your first year?
No, not really. Heck, they had a phenomenal year. I think they lost 10 players, I want to say, that graduated, and we're going to a different conference. I think the Mountain West is a highly competitive conference, a lot of really good teams. So from a pressure standpoint, not so much at all. I think, obviously the program was left in a good spot, and, we've been kind of charged with kind of taking it to the next level.
You've got your own program now, so I'm curious, what are your non-negotiables when it comes to, you're building cohesion and everything. What are your non-negotiables as a coach?
I think for a coaching standpoint, I guess you could say boss, that means character. That's the one thing, like I said, I do believe you can kind of learn anything, you can teach anybody anything, but your character, for me, that's either you have it or you don't. And we want high character people within our program, and I think from a university standpoint, when you look across the different departments in the university, that same standard is there as well. That's a great question. I don't want to put a number on wins, losses. I think how we start the season, I don't want to recognize our team at the end of the season, which means that we've grown through the year. Some people have made some strides. Obviously we've kind of seen some of that in summer, how some of our players kind of came in. So I think kind of success looks, for me, for us, is I don't recognize us. I hope I don't recognize us come September, and then come November. And then obviously when we look back of how we started the season, typically the really good teams, how you start's never how you finish.
How much of this team is on being ready for the season right now?
You say this is our 5th day of 5-on-5? Not very close at all.
How much of the South Carolina principles are you putting in offense, defense kind of thing, or is it your own?
Well, I think, again, listen, I was blessed to be with Dawn for as many years as I was, and yes, there's some carryover, some overlap. I think the hard part is, I think part of what makes South Carolina is that's who they are. So every team's got to have their own kind of identity. Sure, you may have some similar principles or elements, but there's only one South Carolina, there's only one GCU. And so, I do hope, like I said, there may be some overlap, but we'll have our own brand of basketball from that standpoint.
What's your
A lot of new pieces, obviously, in this puzzle.
Yes.
How do you bring together your women and your coaching staff that are going to resolve conference on value? How do you get them to bond early on to continue to make progress?
Well, I think you got to spend time. You got to spend time on the floor, off the floor. That's how people learn that you love and care about them. I also think too, you got to get together like-minded people, that have similar goals, that are high character. Because one thing I do know, in all walks of life, good people want to be around other good people. And typically, when you have good people in your life, you enjoy being around those people, and you're not really worried about, oh, this is hour 3 or hour 4, or this is the 3rd or 4th day this week. So we've spent a lot of time. They've spent a lot of time as well. And, our goal is hopefully they get to kind of see us on and off the floor from different elements. So they don't see us just as coaches, they see us as people. And again, we see them as not only basketball players, but also as people.
What's your scheduling philosophy, would you say? I know you're kind of figuring it out on the fly, but what would you say?
From a play, I'm assuming you mean playing schedule, right?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
how do you want to schedule your non-conference?
Well, you guys will kind of see a little bit later on, and I give kind of credit a little bit probably more so to Dawn than anything, in the sense of like, we're not going to wait till conference to kind of see where we are. I do think part of elevating this university, part of elevating the program, is you've got to put yourself in circles. You got to put yourself in games with tournament level teams. So we're going to play an aggressive non-conference schedule. Like I said, I know they had 30 wins or close to 30. I know we ain't gonna have 30 from that standpoint. But I do think we'll be tested. I think we'll be prepared come conference, and I do think it'll lay kind of the foundation, the way people look at GCU, as yes, we may be in a mid-major conference, but that's probably just about it when it comes to what we are or what we aren't.
Thanks, Coach.